Huff and Darryl DMC McDaniels.
Before we even go further with the Run-DMC career, I'm curious. There's a lot of shows starting to come out kind of telling the story. I mean, you have the Get Down and stuff like that.
Yes.
Have you seen it? How do you feel about it?
I haven't seen it. It's just crazy. I haven't seen the Get Down. I think what's missing from all of these shows is they add the written in perception of it. When all of these shows are so beautiful, great real stories, the stories tell themselves. You gotta let the players who did the break dances, the graffiti writers, you gotta let them be the writers. You gotta let them tell their stories. You can't sit there with Flash and say, "Oh, give me your story." Well, I think this happened. So it takes it away. The majority of people that's talked about to Get Down in all these shows, some like it. Some say it's all right, but nobody loves it because they're not telling the story as is. You got to tell the story. 1978, what was it like on that block? That's what's missing right now. The same way hip-hop records was always authentic when you hear that story, you know what I'm saying? The movies and the films have to be written like a dope rap song. I think that's what's missing.
I'm curious. I actually asked Rakim this question a while back. I asked him, who do you think was the first MC? Ra actually told me that he thought it was James Brown.
That's
because
crazy.
He was like, that's who I looked on stage. And when I saw him, he was the original master of ceremony.
That's deep for Rakim to say that. Because when you think about, say it loud, I'm blocking, he was rapping. Yeah, he was MCing, motivating the crowd. 1, 2, 3, 4, hit it. And they dropped the funky beat. Here he was. Think about it. The band was the DJ. Wow, that's deep for Rakim, the God MC, to say that. That's real deep.
To DMC, who was the first MC to your knowledge?
The first MC to my knowledge, it's probably Keith. Well, I got two. It's from what people tell me, it was Keith Cowboy or Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, because people told me Keith Cowboy was the first to rhyme. Because everybody was doing hip-hop and you don't stop. Clap your hands to the sound of Africa Bell, or clap your hands to Cool Herc sound of the, get out your seat and dance to the beat. But they say Cowboy was the first to go hip hop and you don't stop. I'm going to rock you down to the mountaintop. Clap your hands and stomp your heat. Cowboy was the first to put it together to rhyme. But over the years, though, when I look back at MCing, I would think it was if it was James Brown, it had to be all the soul artists, all the folk artists, and all the early classic rock artists. Those dudes were Billy Joel and were rhyming. And this, you was probably going to address this, but this is what I mean by it. When Rick Rubin wanted us to do Walk This Way, we didn't want to do Walk This Way the way y'all hear it.
Originally, it was going to be over a loop, right?
Yeah, we just go a loop. And it was supposed to be me and Run rhyming about how incredible we are. That's what the MC does, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a tongue twister. Walk This Way isn't the first rock rap record. The first rock rap record was Rock Box, which was the first rap video on MTV. And then we did King of Rock. And then even on Raising Hell, we did the self-titled rock song Raising Hell. Walk This Way came about was before rap records was made, that Toys in the Attic #4. That's what it was to me. I didn't know the song was Walk This Way. Toys in the Attic #4. Get that out and play that. So Jay was like, yo, let's make a record over Toys in the Attic #4. We're going to loop it. And it was basically, it was 86. We came out in 83. So my rhyme was, I'm DMC in the place to be. Been rhyming on a mic since 83. I'm the best MC in history. There will never be an MC better than me. Did over that music, and Run was supposed to go, I'm DJ Run, and I'm #1, here to get it done and have some fun. Back and forth, back and forth. So we're sampling it, getting ready to rhyme over it. Rick Rubin walks in, and he goes, hey, guys. You know how Rick talks? You know what would be great? And he always does this when he talks. You know what would be great? If y'all did the record over. So we was thinking from a limited hip-hop standpoint. What do you think we're going to do? We're going to sample this MF and we're going to rhyme over it. Rick said, no. You should do the record over the way they did it originally. Jay, rest in peace, Jay was like, yo, that might be a great idea. That's never been done before. Me and Ron's like, hold up, yo, hold up, wait. Y'all taking this rock rap stuff too far. Because we knew it was King of Rock, it was Rockbox. Walk This Way was in the crates before Rap Records was made. You could go to YouTube right now and punch in, it's the dopest thing I ever heard in a long time. You could go to YouTube and you could punch in Flash, Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, and Scorp. Because Mr. Ness turned into Scorpio. Scorp, Kill It, 1978. And it's about a minute and 20 seconds of Melly Mel and Scorpio rhyming while Flash cuts up Aerosmith's Walk This Way. And just check, Melly Mel is not Melly doing a message. He's going to Melly Mel, y'all rock well, y'all. He's rhyming like Me and Run. So that being said, that was the blueprint for our hip hop. That was the motivation. So when we did Walk This Way, we was just trying to do Billy Squire's Big Beat. We was just trying to do what Queen was doing. So what I wanted to say was, when we sat there and listened to Walk This Way and didn't want to do it, it was Jay who said, slow down, slow down. He said, Steve is rapping. Because at first, when we heard it, we put the needle on the record. It said, I had never heard the singing on Walk This Way. It said, backstroke lover with the hotter number cover. We get on the phone. This is hillbilly gibberish. This is country bumpkin mountain music. This is folk rock. You trying to ruin us? Hell no, we ain't doing this record. So we hit out for 1 whole week. After that week, when Jay finally got us to pick up the phone, he said, listen to Steven. Listen to his flow. He's rapping backstroke lover, underneath the cover, talk to him. He just did it differently. So for Rakim to say that, the rap was always there. But to do what we did with hip-hop, what made our raps and flows special is we were taking the iconic rock songs and James Brown songs, funk songs and stuff like that. We had no resources. All we had was the turntables and the records. Get 2 of those records and let me do my thing. So we were actually redoing what the early rockers and the folk rockers had done. And every time something happened to us, we thought somebody was trying to ruin us. Every time we did something iconic, like, y'all got MTV, hold the fuck up. What the fuck y'all trying to do? I'm trying to stay in the park, you know what I'm saying? We trying to stay happy. Don't try, what's MTV? We didn't even know we ain't having a Queens. In '84, before we did MTV, Lou Reed called us to open up for him. So we opened up for Lou Reed. We did It's Like That, Circumcised, Here We Go, Rockbox. This is like before the album had dropped, Rockbox and something else. And when we came out on stage, the reception was 80-20. Because Lou Reed said, I'm going to introduce you. I know you hear about the hip-hop thing. It was so new to everybody. You know, people saying it's a fad and all of that, but to me it's wonderful, and I know you know about these guys, Run-DMC and stuff like that. So when we took the stage, 80% was like, yeah, we rocking with you, but 20% was like this. No, literally, and it was a stage like this. So me and Run is rhyming, Jay's back there. The guys was up front, like, middle fingers going like this. I'm rhyming. Here we go. DMC, you. Fuck you, DMC. You, DMC, fuck you. Because they hated us. Run, fuck you. And we wanted to cry and run off stage. But we looked at you. Just keep going. So we did this show. We go in the dressing room all dejected. And then the stage people come, yo, y'all got to come out here. You got to hear Lou Reed. So Lou Reed said, before I start this show, I just want to say something. If you're going to boo them, you booing me. Because I was that same little kid. See, we was doing it with records. He said, I was that same little kid in my garage beating on pots and pans, emulating the guys that I saw before me trying to figure this out. And it was almost like it was the father scolding the son because, no, we're sorry, Daddy Lou Reed. But from an MC standpoint, historically, from what I hear, it's Keith Cowboy. Out of everybody, because I heard him first, and they both were dope, but for me, it's Melly Mel. The first prototype MC, because he took it away from that hip hop. He took it away from the ball, did the ball. He took it to where he was saying something. So for me, it's Melly Mel.
I know we're running short on time. We could talk about the Run-DMC career for days. What I'm really curious about from your book is, while all this was going on, while the world was looking at you guys thinking you had it all, you were going through some stuff. You were going. There was a point that you hit some
Right.
deep depression.
Yeah, right.
Give us some insight into what you were going through inside.
Right. All through the 80s, I didn't notice at the time, but it was the beginning of my fall down the catechism of depression. But it didn't manifest itself until 93. After Tougher Than Leather, we did that. We did My Adidas, we did Crush Groove, we did MTV thing, everything that Run-DMC had did. First to go first on Rolling Stone and all of that. Then we did Raising Hell, then we did Tougher Than Leather, and then after that was Every Career Gets It, that downward period. But we were fortunate we had such powerhouse hits we could live on. I didn't pay attention to what I was feeling at the time. Once I went to therapy, I started knowing, that's when it began. But it didn't manifest itself till 1993. Pete Rock and CL Smooth produced a song on our Down With the King album called Down With the King. Now, prior to this record, people respected us, but nobody cared. They respected us, but nobody cared. When we came out with Down With the King, they had to move out the way and get off my phone, motherfucker, like almost damn near. Naughty by Nature put us on tour with them. We started getting calls to go around the world. And now in the 90s, hip-hop had changed drastically. Paydays were different. In the 80s, we was getting 50. Now we could get 100 grand. So Pete Rock puts out Down With the King. It puts us back in the game as participants. Then this guy named Jason Nivens did a remix of our first record we ever made, It's Like That, and the way it is. It was Jason Nivens did It's Like That over. That record went #1 in the UK and on the Europe charts. So now here we are back on that Raising Hell pedestal. When that happened, the very next day after all of that happened, I woke up and I wanted to kill myself. There was this void in me. I had no idea what it was. I didn't know where it came from. And I wanted to kill myself. So from 93 to 2004, I was an alcoholic, metaphysical, suicidal wreck. When Run-DMC was touring with Aerosmith and Kid Rock, and we running around with Pete Rock, and we running around with all of that, I wanted to kill myself. And I talk about it in the book. The only reason I didn't kill myself immediately was Run and Jay going to be mad at me if I fuck up the money, so I ain't going to kill myself. And that's how I was thinking. It was weird. And, I knew something was wrong with me. The culmination of it was this. It got to a point where I said, I'm going to do it. So I was figuring out ways how to kill myself. But then I said, if I die tomorrow, people know the DMC story. They know what me and Run did. You could Google us, Wikipedia us, whatever. But nobody knows the little boy Darryl, the little kid that went to Catholic school that liked comic books. So I said, just in case I die tomorrow, I'm going to write a book. And in the book, I'm going to say, yo, what's up, world? I'm DMC from the groundbreaking rap group Run-DMC. First to go gold, first to go platinum, first in the cover Rolling Stone, all that stuff. But I'm really Darryl McDaniels from Hollis, Queens, New York, who's no different from any little boy or girl on the face of the earth. I was born May 31st, 1964. When I got to that part, I was like, oh, I know my birthday, but just to make it more interesting for the reader, let me call my moms up and get some more facts. So I call my mom and say, hey, Mom, I'm writing a book. I know my birthday is May 31st, 1964. I want to know 3 extra things. How much did I weigh? What time? What hospital? She told me the 3 things. I hung up the phone. An hour goes by. The phone rings. It's my mother and my father. Now, I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical wreck who's about to end it all. My mother goes, we have something else to tell you. So I'm thinking it's going to be trivial and nostalgic. She goes, well, you was a month old when we brought you home and you're adopted, but we love you. Bye. Click. Okay, I'm a smart guy. I know what that word adopted means. So my whole career, prior to that, when it's time for me to rhyme, what did I rhyme about? Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens. Son of Bifred. I made Son of Bifred because of this. I was sitting there and I said, Thor is the son of Odin from Asgard, and he has a brother named Loki. My name is Darryl, Bifred's my father, and I got a brother named Alfred. So I wrote, son of Bifred, brother of Al. Banner's my mother and Run's my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother. I always rhymed about family and school and all that. To hear that thing it wasn't heartbreaking. It was soul-shattering. It was earth-shattering. Right then and there, I'm going to kill myself now because I'm not even my mother and father's. But when I got that revelation, a peace came over me. And it was rough to receive emotionally, but the void was filled. Because remember, I said, okay, I'm Darryl McDaniels from Hollis, Queens, New York. Wife and the band is my mother and father. Run-DMC is my friends. This thing called hip-hop comes over the bridge. I went to Catholic school all my life. I was just pretending to be an MC, but because I spoke in existence, now I'm an MC. My whole career, I was living in front of y'all. There was a missing piece to who my identity was. So everything the world knew about me was all I knew about me. When I received that information that I was adopted, it filled the void. It was hard to receive because then I started drinking even more. Jack Daniels and Jim Beam became my best friend. I got to the point where I drank a fifth of Jack Daniels and realized if I don't stop drinking, I thought about jumping, I thought about shooting myself, I thought about drinking a poison, but then I found out the way I can drink without knowing I'm doing it. I realized if I don't stop drinking, I'm going to kill myself. So it wasn't until I went to therapy, but I only found therapy because I went to rehab. When I went to rehab to stop drinking, I discovered this thing called therapy. And let me tell everybody in this room, therapy is gangster. It's the most gangster thing that you can do to empower yourself. So make a long story short, when I got to therapy, this is crazy. This is very important. The therapist asked me this question. I was 35 when I went into rehab for therapy and all that. The therapist was like 46 or 47. So I got in a therapy session. The first thing he asked me, Darryl, when you was in the Run-DMC, did Jay, Run, Russell, or anybody at the record company ever do anything to make you mad? And I said, nah. So the therapist was sitting there. He pushed his glasses up on his face. He put his notepad down, and he looked at me, and he said these words to me. He said, you a goddamn motherfucking liar. And when he said that, immediately, yeah, in 1985 they did this, in 1986 they did that, in 87, and then they did that deal, and they took this guy's money, and this and that. So my whole career, I was performing as DMC. It was easy to get up and pretend to be DMC, but I kind of forgot who Darryl was, and I went and expressed my feelings. And I realized Run-DMC was working on his P's and Q's when Run, D, and J participated. After Raising Hell, and they didn't do it on purpose. Run and J took it upon themselves. Don't worry, D, you just keep doing what you're doing. We got it. And I went along with that. But I would do stuff that didn't make me feel right, but I wouldn't talk about it. Instead of saying, even if I was saying, excuse me, Jay and Joe, I don't agree with that. My therapist said, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. But instead of speaking up, I tried to drown it with the alcohol. So I got to the point where I got a case of acute pancreatitis, almost died. But I went to rehab to clean my life up, and I discovered therapy. The beautiful thing about therapy is I discovered who Darryl was. Before music, hip-hop was just, I was prepared to receive hip-hop because of school. I was a smart kid in school and had a great imagination because of comic books. After therapy, I didn't need Jack Daniels and Jim Beams no more because I went back to my first love, which is the comic books.
Things got even darker after that, though, right? I mean, Jam
Master Jay. Yeah,
that was just the tip of it, because Jam Master Jay gets gunned down. Your father died.
All in the midst of time, yes. I found out I was adopted. Jam Master Jay gets shot and killed, and then my father, Byford, dies. So it was crazy for me. So, and to fill y'all in, all during this time, y'all was seeing Run on the TV shows and this and that. And, you know, every now and then I would go read comics and stuff like that. There was never a beef with me and Run. There was never a beef. While Run was doing Rev Run's Wisdom and doing his TV shows, I was going through total, complete hell. So everybody would say, why DMC ain't on Run's house? That's the question I would always get, right? And that's why I wrote the book. I really wrote the book to let you know there's no beef with Run. Everywhere I would go, yo, we always see Run and Russell and Kamara and digging in. Where you be at, D? And I wouldn't say nothing. And it just got so monotonous. Oh, you really want to know? And this is how the book came about. Why you ain't on Run's house? You got a beef? Nah, I ain't got a beef. Why you ain't on Run's? Why? I just got out of rehab. Oh, and people would do this. Oh, really? Why was you in rehab? Well, I was alcoholic, this and that, and I went to therapy. Oh, you went to therapy, this and that? And it's a true story. People would say, really, D, can you do something for me? And this was started happening to me. Can you come talk to my daughter? What? She's 7 years old. She just found out she is adopted, and she don't know how to deal with it. We took her to therapists. We took her to doctors. But if you come and talk to my daughter, and the same thing, you just got out of rehab? Yo, D, could you come talk to my father? Huh? Why? Because he's an alcoholic. He don't need to drink. So I realized by me sharing what I was going through was doing the same exact thing that I already was doing with my records, inspiring and motivating and helping people. So it came full circle.